you enter the Cape Coast Sports Stadium, you struggle to see that a national youth team was preparing for a World Cup tournament. As lamented by head coach Yusuf Basigi, the euphoria is down.
I think I said it before, and what I will say again is I'm not seeing the euphoria of Black Princesses going for the World Cup. I'm not seeing it. There's nothing shows. Even in Cape Coast here, many didn't know that we are here. You see, so in fact, that is what bothers me. I will plead with you, the media. You have to awaken them. You have to alert Ghanaians that there is a World Cup coming on this time, and that will help. That will awaken them, and then we can see the Ghanaians. You know, this time round, I think they are beginning to love women football. Seriously, what I saw here in Cape Coast during the finals against Nigeria in African Games, in fact, it was fantastic. So if Ghanaians are aware, I know they will do all that they can to give us the needed support, and then we'll be highly motivated.
You see, Basigi, the head coach of the under-20 women's team, spoke exclusively at Sahara Football, lamenting on the lack of build-up to the World Cup tournament, which kicks off in August, and his journey as a coach.
Which personally, wanted to find out, you started off as a male team coach. What prompted you to switch to coach women's exclusively?
Well, I didn't coach for long, the men for long, just the youth side. But in 2002, there was maiden edition of second cycle girls soccer, which was held in Takoradi, and there was no any female coach who wanted to coach. But all of a sudden they said, no, coach, go and handle the team. For what reason, I don't know. They said I have patience enough, and looking at my demeanor, I can do it. I took it upon myself, and then 2003, we went to Volta region for the maiden edition of the competition proper, which I won. And then I defended it again in Sunyani in 2005. And then I was into the women game, because being a teacher, and I've been teaching in the lower primary for so many years, and I know how you women are, you know, excuse me to say, you are like the kids. So if you can handle the kids, you can handle the women. So that is why I try to relate it to it, and then it has really worked for me.
How different is it coaching male and then female, emotionally and then physically?
Extremely difficult coaching the women, internally and externally. There are a lot of nitty-gritties in coaching them. If I have a problem with you, it means I have problem with all your friends. And probably maybe your friends are key players. So how am I going to resolve that? And two key players having conflict, how are you going to resolve that conflict? If you're unable to resolve the conflict, it means your team is torn apart. Because these two key players, they are cliques. They have their cliques. And you can imagine what will happen. I experienced it before in Black Queens, but I was able to handle it. Because it isn't easy. If you don't put your ears and your eyes on the ground, you may think all is well, but you'll be disappointed at the end of the day. It's extremely, we are very emotional. And, you know, most women too, they grew up before they started playing football. And you have to mold them to ensure that, yes, they get on track. So coaching them is extremely difficult. But for the boys, you know, you can find them in the street everywhere. And, you know, it's highly competitive with the boys. So everybody is ready to adhere to whatever instructions you give, because they need to compete worldwide. But you can see these our girls, they easily travel to play abroad, unlike the boys. So that tells you that the men's side is highly competitive in terms of developing them and then play. So it makes it easier for you rather. But for the women's side, you get to a club when we have only one female good player, and she's the queen of the team. She can decide not to come to training the whole week, but the coach, not me anyway, because for me, I won't use you. But the coach will move his car, or maybe he will just make sure that they send for the player to come and play, just for the weekend. And that ends it, you see, unlike the men. So you can see the difficulties and the challenges that we have in the women's football.
Easily, you are the most successful coach when it comes to women's football in Ghana, and then one of the best in Africa. What do you believe sets you apart?
What do I believe?
Yes, what made you excel in what you do?
My concern is the players. I have to ensure that I have to inculcate the kind of discipline that I have in them, and they become part of me. Because, and more so, you know, I have been to several countries abroad in Europe for attachments, and I see the way, the kind of demand that they want before you can be a professional player. And so when I come down, I try to let them understand that I have been there, I've seen it all, and before you can be successful, you have to do A, B, C. And every player wants to play abroad, want to play professional, so definitely they would listen to me. And then also, I will right away, right from the day that you come to my training session, I will let you know what I want from you, and then I'll also ask you what you actually want to be. So I'll tell you the challenges. If you accept it, then you are good to go. If you think that I am a bother to you, then you leave football or you leave my team.
You and Coach Drew Adaka are rivals when it comes to club side. How do you both manage to do your things together well, so that in the national side it brings you the best out of the players that you want? But when it comes to the club side, you know you two are rivals.
Nana has been a very good friend. Fortunately, Nana Adakwa played Hazakes. He played Hazakes. So at least he has some little Hazakes blood in him. But he's very humble. He respects authority, and he respects leadership. When he knows that you are a leader or you are his leader, he respects you. You know, he's older than Baba Nuhu, but he was assistant coach to Baba Nuhu, and he listened to him very well as his boss. He addresses him as his boss. But when it comes to age, he's older than Baba Nuhu. So such a humble person, definitely we can work together. But in rivalry, John Jinapo and Abu Jinapo, they are brothers. But you see, when it comes to that side, you see that there is nothing like brotherhood. Yes, so that is how it is.
Coach, lastly, a message to Ghanaians and then football lovers.
I think I said it before, and what I will say again is, I'm not seeing the euphoria of Black Princesses going for the World Cup. I'm not seeing it. There's nothing shows. Even in Cape Coast here, many didn't know that we are here. You see, so in fact, that is what bothers me. I will plead with you, the media. You have to awaken them. You have to alert Ghanaians that there is a World Cup coming on this time, and that will help. That will awaken them, and then we can see the Ghanaians. You know, this time around, I think they are beginning to love women football. Seriously, what I saw here in Cape Coast during the finals against Nigeria in African Games, in fact, it was fantastic. So if Ghanaians are aware, I know they will do all that they can to give us the needed support, and then we'll be highly motivated.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey.